going 7-9. Okay.
Hi, and welcome to the LA Rams 2.0 show, hosted by thisgruelingtruth.net. We're brought to you by Gridiron Mo, an interesting interactive football game app which pits you against other football fans across the country in predicting the next play within a live NFL game. Do you think you're smarter than the average fan? Check it out for yourself at gridironmo.com or through this website, thisgruelingtruth.net. My name is Oz Davis. I'll be your co-host on the LA Rams 2.0 show this evening, and joining me, as always, is former Notre Dame, Buffalo Bills, and Los Angeles Rams great Tony Hunter. How's it going this evening, Tony?
Oh, it's going pretty well, Oz. Everything's going pretty well. Looking forward to some more football tomorrow, and also looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this John Gruden situation. He's been thrown in the mix as far as being a potential replacement for Jeff Fisher, who was fired last week.
So we're just gonna skip right past everything. All right, let's go to because it's been a couple of games since we last spoke. We're recording this on Saturday evening after the Thursday game between the color rush Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. But let's go right to Fisher. All right, I want to get before we talk Fisher though, I want to talk some Tony Hunter. Now, you've never been in a situation where the coach is on the hot seat, have you?
Oh, yes, I have. I have.
Okay. So describe to me.
Well, I experienced it in college at Notre Dame. When my high school coach, Jerry Faust, who came up to Notre Dame, and we had a couple tough years, and there was a lot of speculation that he would be fired. And I'll tell you, it was a tough time, and it's tough on the families, and it was really tough to see him go through something like that. So, yeah, it's not pleasant at all.
So in this case, though, it's like, I mean, did you feel like most of the team was allied with the coach in your situation? Because I kind of feel like towards the end, Fisher was in the process of alienating all the players, through the Dickerson thing and various other stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was the biggest mistake he made was when he asked Eric not to be on the sidelines because – Eric is one of the all-time greats, all-time Ram greats. And, the fan base out there in L.A., all over the country, they love him. And when he asked him not to go on the sidelines, and then Eric went public with it, and it didn't surprise me that he went public with him because as a teammate, Eric was never one to bite his tongue about anything.
Right.
So it didn't really surprise me that he went public with their conversation, he and Jeff Fisher, and I think that was the nail in the coffin for him.
That's the thing. After talking to you guys, it's like not only do you not pick on a player who the players are more likely to sympathize with, you don't go after the player who stood up to management on his contract in the 1980s. You picked exactly the wrong guy to call out, exactly the wrong guy to mess with. I mean,
I believe you underestimated Eric.
He could have gone for Marshall Falk. Somebody like this, but the guy who would have said screw this, and go public, like you said.
Right. No, I think he underestimated Eric, and Eric's a Hall of Famer, and. Like I said, he will speak his mind. He's definitely not shy when it comes to speaking his mind.
Mm-hmm. Now, apparently neither is Todd Gurley because one of the very last parting shots before Jeff Fisher left was that the Rams were running a middle school offense.
Yeah, I saw that.
What happens in a situation, Tony? I mean, what's that like in the locker room, in the proverbial locker room, when it's obvious that the coach isn't helping the team. I mean, and the players are losing confidence. I mean, what happens there? What's the dynamic?
Well, that's exactly what happens. You start to see where you're going into each and every game, and whatever it is that you planned, that you worked on the whole week, coming into that game and feeling confident that the game plan is going to work. I mean, when you get out there and the bullets start actually flying around, it's not working. It's not even coming close to working. You start to lose confidence in your coach's ability to get you ready to play. And then, you get to a situation where sometimes the finger pointing starts amongst the players, and it's a really miserable time, I tell you. And kind of went through that with Buffalo. We had some tough years in Buffalo, and kind of went through it there. And it was nice to be out in L.A. and in a winning situation when Eric was the tailback, and we had a great offensive line with Jackie Slater, Dennis Hara. It was just a really nice environment to be in that locker room, a really pleasant but competitive locker room to be in. Those guys were the difference that I noticed between the Buffalo situation and when I got to the Rams is the Rams, they really hit that weight room hard. They trained harder to get ready to play. But that was the biggest difference. And I think Jeff Fisher, he lost that team. He lost that team somewhere along the line. And as far as what we were trying to do offensively, I just didn't understand it because I still think Todd Gurley's a great back. But I don't think he has the line doing the job right now that they probably should be doing or could be doing. And that holds true for Jared Goff. I think Seattle had 4 sacks against him on Thursday night. And I remember one time looking at his uniform. I think it was maybe midway through the second quarter. And, I mean, they had on the white uniforms. They went back to the white helmets and the white uniforms. I mean, that thing was filthy. He had to change, I'm sure, at halftime. But Jared Goff, that is. I mean, he had grass stains all over that uniform. And you can't put your young quarterback. You can't put your young quarterback in a situation like that. He's probably going to lose a lot of confidence. Hopefully he won't. Hopefully he's the guy, and he'll overcome this situation. But he's definitely being tested right now, being under so much pressure.
Yeah, I got two comments on that one. You remember last season when Case Keenum took a hit it must have been like week 14, week 15, and they brought Foles back in, but he took that hit and he was standing up and the dude was like a puppet on strings.
Right.
He was so concussed, so right. He had to leave the game. And this is more or less, guess what, the same offensive line. This can't really keep happening. I mean, we saw what happened in Washington when their young quarterback, who the Rams traded, got mashed a whole bunch of times. That was it. At the end of his career.
RG3?
Yeah, RG3. Jeff Fisher has done this before with Vince Young. When Vince Young was playing in Tennessee, his offensive line was brutal. He was getting mauled, and his career was much the shorter because of it. This is not a positive trend, and hopefully this will be addressed in the offseason, first chance they get.
Yeah. I think the Rams front office, they were in a tough position, and with Jeff Fisher closing in on becoming the losingest head coach in NFL history with the new stadium going up to $2.8 billion stadium going up. I think they were backed in the corner, and they pretty much had to make the decision to get rid of them. But some really good news I've been hearing is that John Gruden, who is the son of our coach Gruden. He coached the running backs. His dad, John Gruden's dad, coached the running backs when I was at Notre Dame. Great guy. He was one of the players' favorites. He's always joking around, always in a great mood, but a really good coach. Coach Gruden was a great guy. Well, John Gruden now, he's doing really well in broadcasting, and he's secure, definitely, in that career. But coaches are a lot like players in that once they retire and get away from the game, they kind of miss the excitement and the rush of preparing and winning football games. And so it wouldn't surprise me if John Gruden decided to coach again. And I think the Rams are in a position to where financially they can make it very enticing for him to come out of retirement. They're in a unique position to make it very enticing.
This is true. Guys do come in and out of the game. But there's always the John Madden argument, right? John Madden got out, and you probably remember at the time, every time there was a vacancy, his name popped up, but he never took anything. Bill Cowher is another one. He left after winning the Super Bowl with Pittsburgh, never came back. He's been on TV ever since. So
I'm not sure, but I think they had been in coaching for a little longer than John Gruden. Am I right or wrong about that? I think
Gruden came and went very quickly. This is true,
right,
because he was only with the Raiders for 2 or 3 years, and then he was with the Buccaneers for maybe 2. So his whole career was about 5 years, whereas Howard was there for a good 8 years. So maybe he hasn't been satisfied yet.
I remember John Robinson used to say, fellas, we can do this for 10 years. 10 years. You as players and me as a coach, we do this for 10 years, and that's about it, the burnout. So the burnout factor, I don't think it really comes into play for Gruden. And also with his brother Jay being in Washington right now, and they're starting to pick up steam and play some good football. That may be another factor that makes him want to get back in the mix and start coaching again. I tell you what, that'll be a great Christmas present for Ram fans if they sign Gruden.
Okay, I've got one for you because Mike Goodpaster, the fearless leader here at the GrudenTruth.net, is going to hate me for this, but I was listening to another podcast not hosted on this website. In fact, pardon the interruption, with Kornheiser and Wilbon. And they were talking both the last couple of days with other people and not about Nick Saban. Now, what about that?
Nick Saban to the Rams?
Yeah.
You know what? I think Nick Saban, he has his own little kingdom down there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's the king. And I think he'd be crazy to go anywhere else and coach football. That's just my opinion.
So okay. He'd be, but okay. Here's a guy. Tried the NFL thing once, was given a team that was half a team, wasn't given enough time to make anything of it. Don't you think he still wants that? Don't you think he still wants a Super Bowl? I mean, especially if he wins, the national championship this year. I should say next year, but in 2017. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're telling me that Gruden wants to come out of retirement, think about Saban, who is unaccomplished. Gruden won the Super Bowl. Gruden played in another one. No, he did not. He played in the AFC Championship. That's right. Yeah. He coached in the AFC Championship. So Gruden actually has a Lombardi. Saban doesn't. I don't even.
Right. Saban. I mean, he's done so well down there at Alabama, though. I remember. Alabama had really gone down for some years. I remember when I was at Notre Dame, Alabama was, they had one of the top football programs in the country, and then they started to fall off for some years, for a number of years. And Saban went back down. He went down there, and he really turned things around for them, and and they're as strong as they've ever been right now. So, if I were him, I'd stay at Alabama because I tell you what, coaching at the NFL level is a whole new ball game.
Yeah. I
remember Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz was another one that I thought he was. I think he's more suited for the college game. I think Lou Holtz was with the Jets for a while, and he just had a mediocre type career in the NFL. But he went back and changed the fortunes for a Notre Dame program that had been down for a while. Took him a couple of years to do it, but he was able to turn it around and win a national championship. So I think his talents, like Saban's, are more suited for the college game.
Yeah, how about Chip Kelly? Should he be in college again?
I'll tell you what, they can't. They don't seem to be able to do anything right up there with the 49ers. I'm not sure if that's a front office problem or what, but they haven't had a very good year, and they didn't have a very good year last year either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens up there. And speaking of front offices, I wanted to mention this situation with the Rams. As you know, the Rams fired Jeff Fisher last week. And I was wondering who the next coach would be, and then I read that John Fossil, who's a special teams coach for the Rams, was hired in to replace Jeff Fisher as the interim head coach. And it just struck me as odd that a special teams coach would be chosen over the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, or a more experienced coach on the staff to take over as interim coach. Just makes me wonder how much actual football or NFL experience is in that Ram front office. Now, I don't know, but when I was a player, the special teams coach didn't get the same sort of respect or admiration from the players that the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator got. It just didn't happen. The special teams coach was kind of just a coach that they bring in there was a difference, if you understand what I'm saying. There was a big difference.
Sure. Yeah. Well, okay. See, you mentioned this last week, or we spoke about this on the phone, perhaps off the show. But we spoke about this, and you said, yeah, this thing about the special teams coach is weird, and I thought so too. I was just like, oh my God, they're like giving up here.
Right.
But how about it? Think about it now. In that awesome Seattle Seahawks 24-3 win against the Rams, what was the highlight of the game? What was the highlight play of the game?
Well, I remember the fake punt where the
fake punt, the special teams play.
Right.
Rams got busted on for 33 yards. Now, okay, fair enough. Seattle had built up a big lead. This was kind of a showboat play. You know, it was almost like they were testing it for future reference or whatever. Okay, still, they shouldn't have been that surprised to give up 33 yards to John Ryan and then to just like destroy the guy after that. Just because you're angry, that you messed up. I mean, I just, the irony of the situation just killed me. I mean, the special teams coach is now your head coach, and bam, the biggest play of the day is given up on special teams. It's just amazing. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's I noticed that too. That was, they took a wicked hit on that play too, but I don't know, the Rams may need to do what Baltimore did 15, 20 years ago and bring in a football guy like Ozzie Newsome to kind of help out as general manager or something. It seems like they may be lacking there as far as guys with actual NFL experience, playing in the game, being around the game. They could use a guy like that.
How about Dickerson? They should just hire Eric. Seriously, why not?
You know what? I'm not sure. I don't know if Eric's ever coached or not. But that would be interesting.
It couldn't be any worse. It couldn't be any worse. Let's break here. We're actually going to do a sponsor ad thing. We're going to talk some next week. And I'm going to ask you about something that you said in a show maybe like 8 weeks ago or so. Okay? So let's take a break. I'm going to leave you hanging on that, Tony. Let's take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, let's get right to it. Do you want an easy gift idea good all year round? Or maybe you just like to keep a steady supply of quality crafted microbrews delivered directly to your door. Either way, The Grueling Truth has a solution for you. Go to theGruelingTruth.net/beer to learn how you can join up with the Craft Beer Club and get the best American beers you've never heard of sent direct to you or that beer drinker on your gift list. The Craft Beer Club discovers exceptional craft brews from around the country and delivers them direct to you or your gift recipient. Every selection is produced by independent microbrewers employing traditional ingredients and time-honored brewing methods. Best of all, with the Craft Beer Club, there is no membership fee, no obligation, and any subscription may be canceled at any time. Choose from monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly to get the right amount of great beer to stock your fridge or someone else's. So help The Grueling Truth help you to fantastic beer year-round. Visit theGruelingTruth.net/beer and join the club, the Craft Beer Club.
U.S. delivery addresses only. Please enjoy Craft Beer Club products responsibly.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to the LA Rams 2.0 show here on theGruelingTruth.net, and we're talking some Rams football. I think that football should almost be in quotes at this point. I'm a little bit afraid. A little bit afraid of using that term too loosely. But okay, all right, Tony. I want to ask you something here. You told me, we were talking back when the Rams, I think, were 3-1, back when they were looking very much better than they are now, ironically, that coming out of the bye week, I pointed out that the Rams had a heck of a schedule, you know, and lately, sure enough, okay, they've lost 2. The Panthers, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Seahawks in order. Okay, now, at that time, you said something to the effect of, well, that sounds like an NFL schedule to me, right?
Right.
So, okay, here's my question. Since it appears that the Rams can't really play ball with the elite of the NFL, what is the rest of the season about? And I'd like an answer from like a player perspective, if you can give it to me. I mean, what are these guys going to do for these last 2 games?
I tell you what, with the Seahawks, they just won the NFC West, so they won the division. Right. They're not playing for a division title anymore, the Rams are. They're not going to make the playoffs. So basically, the only thing that they have to play for right now is to make sure they have a job next year. If not with the Rams, with someone else.
Okay.
But, yeah, so that's your motivation to go out there and play some good football so that you can make the team or make the team with someone else next year. So.
Okay. I mean, how you had to do this. You had to play out the string, as they say, a couple of times in your NFL career. What is that like? I mean, you're 4-7 or whatever, but you still have to play these 3 or 4 games. Is it tough to get ready for those games?
It gets rather selfish. Guys just go in and try to get their numbers up and
personal stats.
Yeah, you're basically playing for yourself at that point when there's nothing else to play for as a team in that season. So, and you're playing for pride. You're playing for pride, and you're out there every week going against the best in the world as far as NFL talent. So you can't just go through the motions because that's a good way to get hurt, get seriously hurt.
Yeah.
So you go out and you try to get your numbers up and just try to play good football.
Okay, let's talk a little next week. Let's set the table a little bit. Okay, so next week we get the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is the team that defeated what seemed like a shock at the time, our Rams in Week 1, 28-0. Okay. Since then, they've lost at least 12 consecutive games. By the time you're listening to this podcast, it may be 13, including, as of this podcast, the last one, which was that overtime loss to the Jets. Okay, bottom 5 team, I think, after leading 17-3. Okay. Can the Rams win this game, all right?
And you know what? We should. But the thing is, San Francisco has been kind of a puzzle to me. They had Jim Harbaugh, who went in there a few years back, changed that program around, had them in the Super Bowl, had them playing great football. All of a sudden, I'm not sure exactly what the problem was that he had with the front office, but for some reason, he was no longer welcome with the 49ers, and they let him walk. So now he's at Michigan, and by the way, he hasn't beaten Ohio State since he's been at Michigan. So they're not really happy about that. But even though he's turned that program around, definitely, and they're playing top 10 football right now. And by the way, he's been mentioned as a possible replacement for Jeff Fisher with the Rams, which I don't think that's likely to happen because Jim Harbaugh is back at his alma mater at Michigan right now. Yeah. They're doing well. The only thing left for him to do is to beat Ohio State. So I think he'll be at Michigan until he does that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Yeah, that's the conventional wisdom is that, at least he has to do that. But, Michigan, as of late, has been a perpetual playoff team in the colleges anyway. So he'll get it eventually. But I think he's gonna go for that national championship, too. He wants a number 1, too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I promised you before the show, I promised you some numbers on this game. I got some real simple numbers for you on this game. Okay, so how about this? San Francisco is 29th in total offense. Of course, the Rams are 32nd. Right. As we were last year. San Francisco, however, is 32nd in total defense. How about that? And the Rams are 23rd in total defense. Now, the Rams lately have not even been playing that well on defense, I would say. They've let up over 120 points in the last 4 games. So it's not like the defense is lighting worlds on fire anymore either. So what do you think? Is this going to be a baseball game, or is this going to be? Are we going to see some points? I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Rams are going to do pretty much what they've done here of late. They lost to Seattle 24-3, and until they fix the problems with that offensive line, they're not going to score any points. The Rams aren't going to score any points. And right now, the 49ers, they look a mess offensively right now, too. I remember when Colin Kaepernick was a young quarterback doing well in the NFL. I loved his throwing motion. I loved his ball placement. And he doesn't have much of a line that's blocking for him right now. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the Coliseum will be sold out once again because the LA fan base they love the Rams, and I think it'll turn out to be a pretty decent football game. But I don't expect it to be a high scoring game at all. But, going back to what you just mentioned a moment ago, San Francisco doesn't have any offensive line. San Francisco's roster is full of guys that you never heard of and will probably be in the NFL below the league average of 3 years. This is a makeshift team. However, I saw this statistic on during the football game, the Rams game the other night, was the Rams had 10 first-rounders starting on offense and defense.
I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that.
Right. You were talking, and they got another 5 on the roster. You were talking about the front office. Okay, this is a direct product of that. You know, I mean, you were talking about problems in the front office, and the GM of the Rams. You know, he just Les Snead. That's his name. He just got he got the same extension that Fisher did.
Oh, is that right?
You know. So,
some strange things are happening in Ramland. I tell you what, I'm not sure what's going on there. I think the chief operating officer is, I believe his dad was an agent, Marv, I forget his last name, but I think his dad was an agent. So I'm not sure how much actual football experience he has. But with all those first rounders, they should be winning. They should be winning football games, and they're not. Yeah. So,
you can see why San Francisco is what it is, or Cleveland is what it is. But I mean,
San Francisco had quite a few players retire. There was quite a bit going on before the season started. So.
Oh, they've got nobody left. They've got nobody left from the Harbaugh days except Kaepernick.
Wow!
In like 3 or 4 years, the whole thing has turned. The first wave of guys just went free agent after he left. They said, we don't want to play for this team if he's not the coach. And then they had all those freakish retirements, especially on the front 7 on the defense.
Yeah,
and most of those are coming out of there. Guys who have been playing 1, 2, 3 years, retire. In their prime or on the up, and they retire. So, that team, that was like rats leaving the sinking ship for the last couple of years. So I'm not surprised. But again, the Rams are supposed to be building up. They're supposed to be on the upside of that rebuilding process.
Definitely.
I know they're on the down.
Right.
And it's not happening. It's not happening. When Fisher said, I'm not going to go 7-9, I didn't think he was going to go, 6-10.
Right.
I mean, come on now. Come on. So Jeff Fisher is out after tying the record. I thought this was amazing. After tying the record for losing his coach in NFL history.
So he tied with Tom Landry.
Is it Landry? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think it's Tom Landry, but Landry won a few Super Bowls, and he coached a lot longer than Jeff Fisher coached. So
he coached America's team. Fisher built almost his entire career on the Music City Miracle. Right. Okay. So I won't hold you to making a prediction on this game because I'm almost afraid. But let's see. Are we going to do it? Are we going to do a show after the Niners game? Should we do
Sure. Let's talk about it.
We can do it.
The football gods will have mercy on us and bring this season to an end pretty soon. and hopefully the Rams will make a splash this offseason and sign somebody like John Gruden or somebody that can right this ship, because I'll tell you what, the fans there in L.A. are not going to settle for these kind of seasons. They'll stop coming. They'll just find something else to do. And going into this new stadium in Inglewood, this $2.8 billion stadium, that's the last thing the Rams need is for people to stop coming to the game. So,
I mean, it's like I said last week, Los Angeles is used to winners. The Dodgers are a playoff team almost every year. The Kings won it all like 3 years ago, I think it was. The Lakers have this tradition. The Clippers have been competitive. I mean, you can't be a loser in that LA market.
Oh no, they'll find something else to do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Football is starting. The problem with the Rams leaving in the first place, Rams 1.0, if you will, is that you lost that whole market, just disappeared. They have not been here for a generation, and I don't know if the Lakers were ahead of them before, but they are now. I don't know if the Dodgers were ahead of them at that time, but they are now,
Right. And, San Diego still may come to Los Angeles.
Right. That's the thing. And at least the Chargers have Phil Rivers. They have Antonio Gates. They have marketable players who people are going to want to see. And, San Diego is probably the second biggest fan. The Chargers is probably the second biggest fan base here in Los Angeles. So people would switch, because, again, L.A. wants a winner.
You just look at the situation with the Lakers, how they've had the last few years. They've been really bad, and the Clippers have been coming on. And all of a sudden, you're starting to see the Clippers, you're starting to see all the stars go to the Clippers games. And they will switch their allegiance, no doubt about that.
You don't have to tell me. The Fairweather fan base has shifted a couple years back. Oh, it's true. Anyway, fickle Orange County, Los Angeles.
Right.
Okay, Tony. Well, you're not doing the Notre Dame show anymore, are you?
No, we're doing it. We're going to do it the season is pretty much over. I don't think we'll go to a bowl game this year. Hopefully they don't go to a bowl game this year. Let's let this one be over. But I think we're going to do a show every couple of weeks, depending on what's happening with the program. So with the Notre Dame football program, and just get people caught up to date as to some of the changes. There have been quite a few changes. You have players that are leaving the program. I think we've hired a new defensive coordinator, and I believe an offensive coordinator is they're trying to get one right now, or he's already signed. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's a lot of changes taking place in the coaching staff at Notre Dame right now, and also a lot of players are deciding to go elsewhere. I think Deshaun Kaiser has decided to the quarterback has decided to go pro.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I think he's decided to go pro. Okay. And so we basically, there's a vacuum at the quarterback position, and I think the only guy that's left to play hasn't played at all since he's been at Notre Dame. He's talented, but he hasn't played yet. So it'll be interesting.
So should we expect Kaiser to be drafted by, say, Houston in the 4th round?
You know what? There had been some talk. Kaiser is from Toledo, Ohio, which is northern Ohio, which is up near Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns had the first pick in the draft, and they need a quarterback. Now, whether Kaiser is that guy or not, I'm not sure, but he's from that area, and a lot of times these pro teams, they try to draft people that are from that area, and it helps with the ticket sales and things like that. So there was talk that Cleveland was interested in taking him with the first pick of the draft.
Wow.
And he declared so fast, he must be getting some good news from NFL scouts that he's going to go very early in the draft. But
he wants to cash in on that first round money.
Oh, you have to. That's something that he really can't turn his back on when it comes to his family, as far as helping his family, and it would really help his future. So he had to declare. So I think he's getting some good news from the scouts right now, from the NFL scout.
Wow. The next Joe Montana. Right. Okay. Well, keep a lookout on the gruelingtruth.net for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish show with Tony Hunter. And as for myself, Oz Davis, I do a few shows. I guess these days I'm mostly doing the college football pick'em show and the NFL pick'em show here on the gruelingtruth.net. Those are running every week. And this show, which you have been listening to, the LA Rams 2.0 show here at the gruelingtruth.net. For my co-host Tony Hunter, I'm Oz Davis. thank you for listening, and enjoy the game as best as you can.
Go Rams.
Go Rams.
I'm not going 7-9.
You're fired. Get out of here. Get out of here. Please.